Welcome to my channel, Being His Creation. Have you ever felt like a prisoner in your own body, held hostage by your hormones? Well, that's what PMDD can feel like. Hey everybody, welcome back. In our previous videos, we talked about what PMDD is and I shared my diagnosis story. Today, I'm opening up about the different treatment options and the challenges I faced along the way. Like many other women with PMDD, my initial hope was to have a hysterectomy to put an end to all the monthly struggles that I was experiencing. But the road to that decision wasn't straightforward and I had to explore other options along the way. One of the first things I tried adjusting on medical advice was my diet. I tried cutting back on junk food and sugar and caffeine. I diligently tracked my mood and my scores, hoping to see a change. Sadly, the impact was minimal. Next, I was prescribed SSRIs to take in the days leading up to my period, was to cut. The idea was to regulate my serotonin levels and ease the emotional rollercoaster. Unfortunately, these medications left me feeling incredibly tired and out of sorts. So they weren't a sustainable solution to me. I could be considered for a hysterectomy. I was offered Zolodex injections to temporarily shut down my sex hormones and thus my ovaries, with add back HRT to reduce the symptoms of menopause. The first few months were amazing. I was on a monthly injection at the time and my PMDD symptoms virtually disappeared. And I felt like a new person. But when I went on to the 3-monthly, and I only clocked that it was the change to the 3-monthly in hindsight, when I went on to the 3-monthly, I began getting severe side effects from the injection, and it became clear that this wasn't going to be a long-term solution either. However, trying to get the medical profession to hear me when I said that I was experiencing these side effects was another matter entirely. Not only that, but my care broke down when the gynecologist and the initial consultant both retired. I was left in the hands of nurses for well over a year, and during this time I was experiencing the side effects from the Zolodex, and I got into such a state. I ended up going to a private consultant and I literally spent the last of my savings. It wasn't, I had about £2,000. I literally spent the last of my savings on this private consultant who insisted that I take progesterone. I had been told that I was safe to have the injections with unopposed estrogen for up to 6 months. And I was convinced that the progesterone was the problem. I researched it and I discovered that some women have progesterone intolerance. However, this lady that I spent a lot of money on insisted that I had progesterone and insisted I took 100 milligrams a day. This resulted in me being trapped in bed for 3 months at the beginning of 2017. I couldn't get out of bed. I was so broken. Even to think about putting a pair of socks on hurt me mentally, and that manifested physically. That's the only way I can explain it. And I was resistant to treatment as well. And then unfortunately, eventually, in the process of trying to get myself up out of bed and out of the depression that I was in, whilst trying to balance the HRT and find out what was going on for me, and then coming off the Zolodex entirely and coming back into the PMDD version of me, I ended up relapsing. First I relapsed on ketamine because I was trying to microdose, then I relapsed on alcohol, and then eventually I relapsed on amphetamines, and that's what got me up and got me going. And then I relapsed on I didn't relapse, then I discovered crystal meth, and that's how this channel started, when I was trying to get off of that. So that was a particularly awful time. And then I met my husband and the chaos that the start of that relationship brought. But when I came out of rehab in 2019, I was so desperate for somebody to hear me and for my husband to understand that I wasn't lying, that I wasn't faking my symptoms just so that I could be mean and horrible. In a desperate bid, I rang the sexual health clinic again and I said, is there anybody else there that knows about PMDD that can help me? And just by luck, just must have been the Lord, my original consultant was back temporarily. And so I had an appointment with him. My husband came with me. My husband learnt about PMDD. He then became supportive in that area. And I got back on track to heading towards a hysterectomy, back on the Zolodex, and back into some balance. Till I went back on the 3-monthly one. And that's when it clicked that the 3-monthly one was the problem. I said to the doctors, I said to the gynecologist that I think that it's got side effects, and most medical practitioners think that the Zolodex doesn't have side effects, but I think it did, and I know my body. So I came off the Zolodex because I was also getting so fatigued, and fatigue is a real problem in my life, and fatigue always leads to relapse. So I came off the Zolodex, let my hormones come back, let my PMDD come back, and in a last ditch attempt to treat the symptoms, I tried the Mirena coil. And you can begin to watch that video. I did some videos on that back in the day, so if you click here you should be able to go back to that series and have a look if you want to. Unfortunately, the Mirena coil proved also to be a difficult experience for me. The hormone changes triggered a whole bunch of new side effects, and my PMD symptoms persisted. Then I asked them to remove the Mirena coil, and I have not experienced pain like it. It was horrible. I don't recommend it, but that's just for me. You have to go on your own journey, and you have to see what works for you. You might have different care. You might have better understanding. The good thing is since I began my journey, it was very little known about then, but now PMDD is much more researched. There's a lot more known about it, so you're all in a much better position. It was a long and frustrating road, filled with trial and error, but each step and each treatment option brought me closer to the realization that a hysterectomy was going to be the only thing that was going to cure me. If you're watching this and you're feeling discouraged by your own treatment journey, please know that you're not alone. It's okay to feel frustrated, to grieve the loss of options that didn't work, but just don't give up hope. What's really important is that you continue to advocate for yourself. If you're unable to do that, bring somebody with you that can advocate for you. Keep exploring. I'm getting I can feel an attack of narcolepsy coming on. Keep communicating with your healthcare provider and know that there is a path to relief, even if it takes some time to find it. In the next video, we'll dive more into the hysterectomy decision, the pros and cons, and my personal experience. And if you've tried any of these treatments already, I'd love to hear from you. Please write in the comments what you tried and what your experience was with it, good or bad, because that helps others to make informed decisions about the treatment that they want to go through. I really want to create a loving, supportive community where we can all encourage and uplift each other. And if you wouldn't mind popping over to Patreon after this video and searching Emma F. My handle is Emma F. I'm aiming to set up a community over there for the Being His Creation community, and it's going to have its own dedicated premenstrual dysphoric disorder chat. At the moment, membership is free to everybody. Free. Cut. At the moment, everything is free to everybody until I have 50 subscribers or members. Once I have 50 members, then I will put some membership tiers in place. And if you wouldn't mind just hitting the like button, subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, commenting, and please share this video as well or repost it, because there might be other women that are hiding the burden and hiding the pain and suffering of this hormonal condition that need to see it and need also to be able to take a step onto the journey to recovery. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Please pop over to patreon.com/EmmaF. God bless. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.